is that the same song can be sung in a political rally, in a graduation ceremony, in a wedding song. So that's how one song can just blow up and be used. So a song can belong to a Sotho, which is a northern culture, but because of its popularity and its relevance and people relating to the song, it might be a second national anthem.
I remember we were in that lullaby, and your story, yes, the student asked, well, who would hear that lullaby? Like, which baby, or, you know, when would children start to sing? And you had a pretty strong answer there, as when children would start to sing.
Yeah, we start hearing music from infancy. From 7 months in your mother's womb, you start interacting with the music because your mom will be singing to you. People around you, your aunt, your whoever that is around you will start be singing to you. They will start be singing, even they will sing your name before you are even born. They will start singing your name. By the time you are born, there are already tons of melodies based on your name. Your family members will be singing it, your friends will be singing it, and the surrounding communities will be singing. For example, I taught one song, Lamino. Lamino is the name of a little girl, you know. And we start interacting with it. That's why I'm saying the better way to understand South African or African music is African music is a natural phenomenon. It's not an activity. It's not something that you get into it and out of it. It's something, it's part of you. You sleep, it's in you, you wake up. That's why you have a song for every occasion.
That's great. Do we want to play that video of your choir singing for the president?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that?
And that would show how music works. Whether you know the song, whether you do not know the song, there are so many energies and tastes that you can use to relate to the song. That's how music is contextualized in a social setup.
So, Bhekani, do you want to talk about what's happening in this video first, or do you want to just show?
Let's talk about when it has played. So,
okay. So I will try and share screen here. Hold on just a minute. Move this up. So this is Bhekani's choir and Bhekani out in front. You'll see him after a little bit, and his students. And what is this event, Bhekani?
It's graduation ceremony. It's the university graduation ceremony.
Okay. And I'll play a few minutes, and I might jump just a little bit, but yeah, but we'll get to it.
Hmm? No, 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 no.
I think maybe Jamie was booted off. Jamie, can you hear us?
What happened?
I'm not sure.
There was too much joy over there.
There was too much joy. It just pushed him right out of the Zoom. Let me see if I can get him to, he's gonna come back on, I am sure.
I thought it was me.
Bhekani, can you tell us more about that experience?
So that is the president. That is the president of South Africa. And now in this video, you see two things going at the same time. One, music used in a communal space. Remember, it's a graduation. It's the highest event of the university. It's so formal. It's supposed to be so formal. And guess what? Who breaks the formality? It's the music. Because once the music comes in, everything you look, it doesn't matter whether you are the president, whether you are the premier, we are all equal in the face of music. So that's one. Two, but there's still a cultural relationship here. Remember, he's the president of the country. So I can't conduct the president of the country. So culturally, I send few girls to go and collect him. You don't bow to a president. You are culturally, you don't bow to a president because I'm junior to him. So I send few girls to go and collect the president. Girls go and collect the president. The cultural protocol again says the president must now invite the university chancellor to come, because the president cannot come alone until the chancellor then grants the opportunity. Say the chancellor says to the president, you can go on without me, I'm fine. And then now the girls bring the president, and then, but the song is continuing, the auditorium is singing. All of this is underneath the culture, and that is why we are saying, if these things can be integrated in the curriculum, so that when we read the music, you don't just look at the pitches and the words. There's a lot that goes in there. You look at the music from the cultural perspective, what must happen. And when the president is there, now he's singing with the choir, right? And everyone is standing up. You can see the auditorium is on its feet. Now everyone is singing, everyone is enjoying. Sometimes it can get hectic in such a way that you don't know when the song is going to end. So, and then now I'm looking at the president, I'm like, President, what's going on? And he's like, he's just cool. He's like, lead us. And then I indicate, now, President, I would like you to go to the second section. And immediately goes without, but culturally, I'm not supposed to instruct the president. But because we are in the music space, music equalized everyone. Then he took the instruction, and then he continued, and then remember, I can't tell the president, now I'm closing this song off. I had to look at him, but he understood that, okay, now we need to close the song, and we closed the song. So what I think the few points that I would like everyone to take there. One, when music is approached from a cultural perspective, it is more natural. So when a conductor wants to do a South African song, I would advise, we can hear when you are singing the pitches and the lyrics. We can hear. It's not about singing. African music is not about singing the right notes and the right words and doing the right choreography. How about the feeling? If I were to ask you, Amanda, how would you have felt if you were in that hall? You would have been up and jumping, even if you don't understand the word, because that is the role of music. That's what the music should make you feel. It's a social context. It's a natural phenomenon. So it cuts across the languages. It cuts across the barriers. So it needs to speak to you, even if you cannot explain it. That's how African. So I've seen lately, Amanda, that Choirs are, yes, they are singing African music, but when they sing it, when they do not approach it from the cultural perspective, they tend to sing the pitches and the words. That's all you hear. And if you can also go back to that video, you would hear that there's a lot of ululation. We call it vocal fields. So you need to fill it up with some ululation, because remember, it's a natural phenomenon. So it is taken from its natural position. So when you present it as how it would be naturally be. For example, if it would be in a wedding, people would be ululating, people would be shouting, people would be screaming, people would be using their whistle, and everyone will be happy and jumping up and down. So you need to try and present it like that. Don't clean it up. We don't want a clean 4-part harmony, you know, that is too beautiful and placed and well polished. No, we want you know, the raw, the rough, you know, keep it live. When it's correct, we're like, yeah, it's a South African song, yeah, it sounds correct, and all the notes are perfect, and the voices are clean, and you know, but we can't connect. We need to connect. African music does not start on F sharp and end on F sharp. It's not about the key. It's not about the key. It's not about the correct notes. It's not about the correct words. And African music has got a lot of improvisation spaces. So how then are you going to improvise if you are sticking on the note and if you are sticking on the arrangement that you have done?
Just a quick comment. One of the great things was so this was Jacob Zuma, right? He was the president of South Africa. That was the man in the red robe. He wasn't the college president. He was the country's president who was there singing. And as he went on, he started to improvise. And I don't know which of our previous presidents would have been, I don't know, maybe a couple of them, but maybe a little limiting. I don't know, just saying. But that was an important moment for me when I was watching, and all of a sudden Jacob Zuma, who's the president of the country, started to improvise his own part in front of the choir. To me, that was an important point. Like, it wasn't just he knew the song and he was singing. I mean, Obama sang Amazing Grace, that was great. But to have Jacob Zuma there and he improvised, it was like, yow, that's a deal.
Yeah.
Do you want to watch that next video, Bhekani? That's the one of the next choir in the competition.
Please. Yes, please.
And hopefully my computer won't, it completely froze, and there it is. Hopefully this time it won't. We'll be happy.
Now, what is the setting of this next video? I'm just curious.
Do you want to say, Bhekani? This is a choral competition, a televised choral competition. Oh, no, it's the wrong video, sorry.
Surule
All right, Bhekani, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Ladies and gentlemen, what you have seen is a very good South African choral medley. Again, now this is where I start asking you to start making the differences. One, the conductor's role. In an African setup, we don't have a fourth wall. In acting, they call it the fourth wall, where the audience is on the other side and the performers are on the other side. In African music, we don't have a fourth wall. A conductor breaks the fourth wall. First of all, the conductor is also a performer. So if you would play anything by Lady Smith, Black Mambazo, you would hear them saying, hey baby, hey baby, hey beautiful girl, sing. And at the end, he will say, sing. That sing is a cue for the choir to tell the choir that we have the right key now. So they don't use the piano and the pitches, they don't give the key. A leader gives the key. Hey baby girl, hey beautiful girl, hey baby girl, hey baby girl, hey beautiful girl. When you say that the key is okay, then you say sing, then they come through. So that's one. Two, there is no time for this. This is Western, this is not African. So you don't do this to African music. So what you do with African music, yes, you can stand in front and start the choir, but once the choir have started, you shift, you face the audience so that the fourth wall is broken. And then you start interacting, because now the responsibility of the choir, one, you need to remember this music needs a lot of energy. So you need to keep hyping the choir to maintain the energy, that's one. Two, in this music, you are allowed to shout instructions. Hey, fourth time, guys. Last one, 10 and 1. So, left side, and 1. Go, right, and 1. So, and then you shout instructions. That is part of the performance principle. Not this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then all these crampings of 4 times, 2 times, 4 times, then you 10. No, you can do it 10 times if the feel of the room, because remember, you are guided by the aura and the feeling of the room. So what you've seen in this video is one, the misconception of the conductor's role first. The conductor there is using the Western methods of directing an African piece. Also, if you look at now the choir performing, the voices are too clean, the choreography is very organized, there is no naturality, it's too much rehearsed. So there must be this natural, so when you deal with African music, try as much to be as natural as possible. One last point that I will emphasize is voice placing. When we say shosholoza, there's a difference between shosholoza, shosholo, then shosholoza, shosholoza. You can tell the difference, and you can tell which one should be used than the other.
Bhekani, in the rest of the time, do you think you could teach us a piece, even just a part of something, maybe like Sawubona or something that you could sing that for us?
Yes, can we do Emaweni?
Yeah.
Where my Emaweni, basis. Emaweni, 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 Emaweni. And then if you are using solfege, are we good with basses? And then tenors. Emaweni, 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 Ba, 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 re, re, re. Altos. So, 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 la, 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 so, 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 Emma Weni, 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 Emma Weni. There is alto. Soprano. Emma Weni, Emma Weni, Emma Weni, Emma Weni. Do, 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 ti, 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 do, 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 ti, 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 Emma Weni, Emma Weni, Emma Weni, Emma Weni.
Good. So why don't you sing one of the parts and we'll sing our part along with you, muted. So at
I
least
will
you
sing
can
the
hear that.
bass.
It's
I
something.
will sing the bass. 1, 2, 3, 4. Emma Weni, 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 Emma Weni. Start improvising. Emma Weni, 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 Emma Weni.
I have something. I want you to talk for just a minute or two about moving and choreography in music.
It comes. Music choreography is part of the music. If you are learning the music only, you haven't finished the score. To those that believe in a score, you haven't finished the music. So you need to learn the lyrics, to learn the notes, and the choreo. Choreography is part of the music. And again, I will emphasize, it's not about doing the right steps, but if you have idea of how the steps move, because choreography will come out differently, because remember, this is a personal expression. So you are expressing it. So it might come differently from Jimmy than Amanda. So, but as long as we are more or less the same, it is fine. So choreography is very important. You haven't finished the song if you haven't done the choreography.
Great. What have we missed today? Do any people have questions that you want to ask Bhekani? This is a perfect time. If something going on, it's like, I don't get that. And Bhekani always does a great job of kind of bringing us to ground or giving us insights into things.
You can go ahead and put it in the chat if you'd like, or raise your hand. Matthew Harrison has a question. He's very anxious. I see him. Go ahead, Matt.
Bhekani, you're amazing. Your energy is so palpable that it spans thousands of miles through the internet and has reached me here in Connecticut. I'm so on fire for singing right now, Bhekani. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Here's my question. How can we access South African music not through the lens of a westernized culture? on top of it? What is a good resource? How can we get to that music that you think that is authentic?
We are still working on that, and I'm very sad that the reason we do not have is still the extension and the roots of colonialism, because the ancestors or the pioneers or the drivers of colonialism told our grandfathers that our music was not worthy of studying, our music was not worthy of storing, so that, you know, to store it in the libraries so that it becomes a resource for generations and generations. We are discovering it now. It has taken me personally, it has taken me masters in Western choral conducting to realize that I need to make a U-turn and come back to African music. So to answer you shortly, we do not have. We need your help to help. We need your help to collaborate, because even the local publishers do not believe us when we say it's time. It's time to document our own music. They don't believe it because the drivers of colonialism told us that this is unworthy. There's no use of storing this. This is primitive, this is old, this is irrelevant. So that's why we don't have. So I would appreciate it's upon me and my other scholars, my other African brothers and sisters to start now, trying to brainstorm ideas on how then we can build meaningful and maintainable resources. And for me, my personal cry has always been, I would have loved to get a publisher so that then on this side, I can mobilize choirs, we can record these songs, we can translate these songs, at least now we know the staff notation, we know tonic solfa, and then so we can even do the IPA, and then we produce books, maybe one book a year, or and do different things, and DVDs and CDs, but the time is now. But to answer you shortly, we do not have these resources.
Bhekani, there's a question in the chat about maybe other than publishing, what can we do as educators to help you with that process? Because you've got a group of people sitting here looking at you thinking, how can we help you do this?
And I know Bhekani and I talked this week about making that a project that we do together, but we might reach out to all of you folks kind of the same way to make that happen. Josh.
I just know having spoken with Bhekani for years and like the pure magic that Bhekani is, I think our inclination as choir directors is to like get creative and offer like all these musical things. But in working with Bhekani for this long, I don't, that's not what he needs. It's money and contacts. I don't think Bhekani doesn't need a transcription. He doesn't need, because he knows how he wants to teach it. Obviously, he knows the culture well. So it's more just, it's money and professional contacts from conversations we've had in the past. Does that sound accurate, Bhekani?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay. All of the pedagogy, all of that stuff that we like, he's got.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe someone asked in the chat, I think we were maybe more thinking of being like, I don't know, Carla, can you explain what you meant by that? I mean, I was thinking more of like as a resource, yes, for money and for contacts with publishing, but almost like as choirs to almost pilot study anything that you would want to write or produce or publish, from the kind of like just school music end of life with actual students, the kind of like, you know what I mean? Like a pilot study.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just didn't know like what do you need? Like, I'm
right.
curious what you need and what we can do to help this happen. Because these are the kind of things that I look for my students, that I am drawn to for my students, is music that's from authentic sources. So I just, what can we do to get this music in kids' hands, in our hands, so that we can spread this to our kids?
Right. And I think Josh is right. You know, getting money. So Bhekani can do that, but even greater than that, Bhekani can't be everywhere. So I wonder if there are ways where we can make this, even if it's Bhekani teaching in a way that we can package it so he can make money every time the package or something gets out there. And then there's even more connections. But if someplace cannot have Bhekani in person or online, that there are resources that they can start foundationally. Like if there's schools that don't have the money, you know, then they could spend $50, $100 and get something that might be worthy as well. So.
Yeah.
Chris.
Just as if we were to sing a piece in, I'm going to butcher this, in Tossa, how do we do the click in the language?
Which click? Is it the ka or the?
I don't know enough about the language to tell the difference, I'm afraid.
It's Tossa has got a couple of clicks.
Mm-hmm.
We have a which is a Q, and then the tongue is here, right underneath the yes. Igqirha lendlela nguqongqothwane, igqirha lendlela nguqongqothwane. Iqabaqaba lamagqirha. Amaqabaqaba imbola athatha amagqirha athi aqeqeshwe ezingqondweni. So that's one click. The second click is ixoxo. Ixoxo. Yes. And then the third one, it's a G, it's a silent G at the back with this. So it's g with the bassy. Yeah, that's the third. That's a third. Yeah. And there are a lot of nice songs in clicks. And yeah, there are a lot of yeah.
Hey, Bhekani, I'm just going to jump in. Can you talk about Emaweni and what it means and when it would be used and maybe choreography that goes along with it?
Emaweni started as a love song, and then it graduated to be a wedding song, and it graduated to be a social song, and it graduated to be a song that is sung all over, and it has so many different versions. So when you say Emaweni, people just listen to you, which version are you going with, and they go with you. So, but it started as a purely love song that was sung by, imagine if you are singing for your fiance or for your wife or for your girlfriend, and then it was started by two people who were just feeling each other. So Emaweni is kind of like out and about. So let's go out and about and just chill, you know, and get some fresh air in the mountain and the valleys, you know, that kind of a thing. So it has a romantic touch in it, and then it has this celebration energy again in it. So that is why it started as a love song, and then it started crossing boundaries, and then it blew. So if you can stand at a South African airport and sing Emaweni, everyone would sing with you. And when I try to teach songs, I try to teach songs that, and again, I think I would like to advise the conductors to, when you ask for South African songs, ask for songs that I always make an example of an airport. Where if you were to tour South Africa, you stand at an airport, you sing the song, people must sing with you. Because I've seen sometimes international communities, because sometimes these things are not explained every time, you would end up learning a South African composed song, and you would say, we have learned a South African song. I'm not disputing that it's a South African song, but it's a composed song. It's not a song that everyone might know. So it will help if you can be a little bit specific with cultural informants from South Africa to say, I need a song that when I sing it, everyone must sing with me, if that's the song you want, unless you want a composed choral song. Any questions?
Spencer has a question here. Spencer, why don't you just ask the question?
Hi. So I quickly had a quick question. How do you engage South African music that benefits both the indigenous people of the culture and non-indigenous people living there, both in South Africa and abroad? So in a place like this or anywhere in the world. I know there aren't many resources that you have to utilize, but do you have like any currently like being used where you are? If that question sort of makes sense.
Can you contextualize the question for me, Jimmy?
Spencer, I'm not exactly. So are you looking for music that benefits South Africans and non-South Africans, or?
Yes.
Right. So like cross-cultural connection, like, are you saying what can we do to make that happen more?
Yes.
Does that make sense, Bhekani? Like, well, I think we're sort of doing it a little bit, but maybe getting South Africans here and us there would make the biggest difference.
That is why, Jimmy, my proposal was that if I am fortunate, I'm very fortunate that I'm in a university and I can speak to other universities. So it can be a kind of like a tertiary institutions project. We have these exchange programs where we then a choir, if a choir tours, if the choir comes here, we all know as choir communities that your choir is coming this side, and then we arrange, and then we share this content, and then we document these things, and then we share, because yeah, I think that will be a very good space to start. And then we can develop it. And someone was asking me the other day that, what do you think? What do you hope to benefit from indigenization as a concept? And then my answer was, even I will not be the answer now, but just by talking about it now, the next generation will be at a better place to execute the plan. So my proposal to you would be saying, if maybe we can start a sustainable program that benefits all of us. You need the music. You need it as authentic as possible. You need it as contextualized as possible, as professional as possible, as accessible as possible. But we don't have the means. We have the knowledge. We are the knowledge holders, but we don't have the means that you have. So maybe this is where we exchange hands and utilize all the resources that we have. Then in the next 5 years, we will be telling a different story.
Well, Bhekani, thank you very, very much. And I look forward to seeing you again in 5 years and having that different conversation. I know that, again, I can speak for all of us and say that if we weren't on fire for choral music before we showed up today, we certainly are now by hearing your voice. So thank you very, very much for all your contributions today. And yep, that's all. Thanks, Bhekani.